Download the WNN app on your Android or iPhone and never miss a Talk 1470 minute.
Ready, set, ride. Remember when you were a kid and riding a bike was pure fun? It's time to rediscover that carefree feeling again with a Pedego electric bike. Pedego is the #1 brand of electric bikes in America because with Pedego, we put you and the customer service first. Pedego electric bikes are universally fun for all ages. Choose to pedal for exercise or throttle for full assist. Give Pedego Fort Lauderdale a call or stop in for a free bike ride. 954-652-1823. Come as you are and try a Pedego today, where our motto is Hello Fun. 954-652-1823. Tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tell Us Your Biz. This is Jenny Azulay, and I'm here today with Rashad, a.k.a. Pops.
Hello, everybody.
And we are here tonight to talk about Pedego electric bikes, and specifically Pedego Fort Lauderdale.
Exactly, which I love, by the way.
Yeah, so tell us, okay, your first experience on a Pedego was a few days ago when we were on the show, correct?
Yes. The best way I can describe it is it made me feel like I was like 10 again. Seriously, I haven't ridden a bike in about 15 years. So to be on a bike, it just felt a little weird, to be honest with you. But once that motor kicked in and I hit the road, oh my God, was in love.
I had the same feeling the first time I got on a Pedego, which was roughly a year and a half ago. I instantly felt like a throwback to childhood. Like you, I had not been on a bike in probably a decade plus. And it was amazing to me that you can get that extra momentum. Also, the bike is weighty, so you feel secure. That's the other thing. You know, like a lot of the modern bikes now, non-electric, of course, are just, they're so light. And it's like when you haven't been on a bike, it's a little, you know, like, oh my God, am I going to fall? What's going to go happen? But with this, I love that you feel secure. It's amazing. You have like the wind blowing through your hair. You know, it's like their slogan is Hello Fun. And you can see by the sense of the colors and the, you know, all the different things. But it's true. You really get this sense of fun. Yeah,
you do. Like I said, when I first got on, I'm going to be honest, it was a little intimidating because like when you start pedaling, and you feel, and even though Austin had kind of warned me about it, he's like, "Look, you're gonna feel that motor kick in,
yeah,
and it's gonna freak you out. But relax. After that, just hit the throttle and enjoy." And I can see where you can get addicted to this. And then the fact that you know the amount of distance when he was telling me you can go anywhere between 45 to 60 miles on a single charge. Are you kidding me? I live in South Florida. Okay, going down like a A1A on a Sunday. From like Fort Lauderdale, maybe down to a Miami, just riding a bike it would be heaven for me.
Well, also, so the thing is, like, I also went on a tour once, okay? I'm not really ideally fit right now, truth be told. I also got a little bit, you know, with the whole middle age situation going on, like, you know, things that I'm not a very active person as I should be, I know. But what I loved about being on the tour with people at different levels was as soon as I was like seeing, you know, like I barely could see the group anymore. All I did was kick in the power and caught up. And it was like awesome. So this way, you know, yes, I was pushing myself, I was exercising, and then it's like, but you know, to stay with the group, you can easily just kick it in when you're ready. Also, as you saw with the pedal assist, if you have that on, you probably won't fall behind because it's propelling you as you're pedaling. So you have two different options there, which I think is awesome. You know, so, the other great thing, I think when people are here on vacation, they're stuck at a hotel, they're not thinking about going on outings necessarily. Well, the great thing about Pedego Fort Lauderdale is they will deliver the bikes to your hotel.
Now, I can tell you that would be a major plus for me, especially if you are from out of town and you're not familiarized with Fort Lauderdale or where you guys are actually located. First off, they're right on the beach. Okay, they're right by the beach. So when you are on a bike, there's nothing like the breeze, the convenience of not having to worry about parking, because I can tell you right now from experience, I've gone to Las Olas God knows how many times. And as much as I love that place and as much as going on like Rock Bar and Blondie's, parking stinks. Okay, it does. It stinks. So if I'm able to get on a bike and just get to my destination and just be able to relax and actually enjoy Florida weather, enjoy the fact that you're going to have that nice breeze and the view, and
do a little chillaxing.
Yes,
with the $2 Heinekens.
With the $2 Heinekens down at Blondie's.
But and also they provide, when you rent the bikes, they provide you with locks so that you can lock the bikes. You know, so if you're going to go out to eat, you're going to relax on the beach, you're able to lock up securely the bike. So that's another good thing, security thing to think about.
And I do like the fact that you are giving people another option when they're coming from out of town, because the one thing us Floridians are good for, okay, I'm not born and raised here, but I've been here for over 13 years, and yes, I consider myself a Floridian, because once it goes down to 50 degrees, I'm whining, and once it goes above 70 degrees, I'm whining. So I consider myself a native now. But if anybody has ever been down here, 9 times out of 10, you're going from hotel room to the car to your destination. And you're really, I mean, if you're on vacation, you're really not getting everything that's going on around you. You know, if you're just doing that. So the fact that you're going to be able to actually get out and enjoy Florida, which the whole purpose of this place is to be out, right? The palm trees, the sun, the beach, the sand, the whole ambiance of being down here in South Florida. If you're really going to take advantage of it, I can tell you 100%. You guys want to go and get yourself a Pedego bike. I promise you. You can bank me on, okay? Bet me on that one. If I'm wrong, you can call up the station and say, "Hey, Pops, you're wrong." But I'm telling you, you're not going to tell me I'm wrong. Trust me on that one.
Also, with the electric, you do have an added breeze. So that's the other thing. So if it happens to be a very hot day, you do have that advantage of like the breeze rolling through when you kick in the electric. Also, I thought about it. I'm like, on my way to the station tonight, I wished I was on a Pedego, because just the last 2 miles, I'm in like gridlock in Boca Raton. And I'm like, if I had the Pedego, I'd be like, hey, bye. So it's a great way to get around. It is a wonderful way to see South Florida, as you said. They'll deliver. So it's like, it really can't get any easier to have a great outing with your family or your friends or whatever you want to do, just to enjoy South Florida and also get in a little exercise and enjoy the great outdoors.
Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You said that you haven't ridden a bike in quite some time before Pedego. What made you get involved with Pedego?
I got involved with Pedego from a marketing perspective. I do some marketing with them and serve as a brand ambassador for some of their dealers. And that's what got me involved. So whenever I'm trying to learn about a product or a brand that I'm working with, naturally, if it's something that's feasible, I try to try the product. You can't try everything. I can't try surgery, for example, or something unnecessarily. But for the product, for this, I was like, it was a no-brainer to try it. But I also was elated by the idea that I could probably start biking again. My husband loves biking. My son loves biking. I'm kind of the one that puts a wrench into the scheme. So this is going to help us as a family, be more active in things again as well.
And not to mention, you're probably a little competitive now. They're pedaling, and you're just like,
like, hey,
See you guys later.
Wait, what about Steve? Yeah, he had a pedal assist 6, right?
yeah.
And won all the races.
Yeah, Steve is the first national parking lot champion of Pedigo.
Right. Yeah.
Shout out, Steve.
Shout out, Steve. Holla. So, but it is a lot of fun. The other thing is, people do buy them. So the rentals are one big thing for South Florida, but people also buy them. And for many people, it has truly revolutionized their lifestyle because they've had knee replacement or they've had a hip replacement or, we have a lot of, seniors in South Florida. And it's especially appealing to that group because they want to be out and they've been restricted. And this enables them to now get back out and about and go biking again. Because, if they are going to go that distance because of the battery life, you have to realize you have to be able to go there and go back, right?
Exactly.
How many times when you were little did you think, oh my God, I'm going to go bike all the way here, only to realize, wait a minute, I don't have enough energy to go home, and you're like walking the bike back, and then you're on, and then you're off. This, you can balance it out.
I can tell you this much. When I was a kid, I would have prayed to have a Pedigo. Let's start with the fact I'm from Massachusetts. Okay, I'm from Springfield, Mass, which is a valley. Okay, so there's a lot of hills and peaks. Now, it's one thing as a kid, you love going down the hill. But as soon as you get to the other side and you're looking at it and you're going, oh, God, let me walk my bike. Like you said, you just walk your bike right up the hill. But with this, I would have just hit it. I would have cranked that thing all the way down, got up enough speed to go up the other side. It would have been great.
Been like doing almost like doing like an Evel Knievel maneuver, like going over the.
Even though I probably would have
the drawbridge, like trying to go over the drawbridge.
I'd have probably hurt myself at least a couple of times on that thing jumping over something. Trust me. So but I can say that since I've tried the bike, I mean, we met you guys a little bit like a month ago.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about it ever since. And then the fact that you guys came the other day, brought the bikes, I was in love. Once I got on, I was a little intimidated when you first get on it. I was a little intimidated because I haven't been on, like I said, a bike in a long time.
But, you got to get back on the bike, as they say.
But once I got on the bike, I was like, you know what? I remember getting out of the parking lot, going down Federal, turning around, coming back, going back down, coming back.
Were you chasing the bright line?
No, I was just enjoying the ride, just enjoying the whole ambiance of it, the breeze, the speed, the power, and then the fact that you get this little herky jerky motion, so that you're driving, you take off the throttle, you let it coast a little bit, and then all of a sudden you just.
I also think it's important to mention that you can have a trailer with little kids, attached to the bike. So you're going to ride.
Kids. We don't need kids. No,
with pets. No, so it's an interesting thing because, a lot of times, let's say like a new mom, that you see those jogging stroller type things.
Yes.
You can have that as well with the Pedigo electric bike. You can go on the bike. You can have the attachment with the trailer, and you can have your toddler in there, or you can have your fur babies in there. So that's another plus. You can have companions join the ride and enjoy it with you.
Exactly, and it's also very convenient. I mean, the fact that it is able to, the way you guys were able to also fold it down, it's very convenient.
Oh, that's the latch bike.
That's a very convenient feature to have as well. To be able to just go ahead and fold it up. If you do purchase something like that, you fold it up, be able to store it, put it away where you don't have it. Because that's another thing about bikes. Another reason why I personally don't like bikes. I have a family room, but the problem is I've got a music studio in my family room. I've got a bar in my family room. I've got my laundry room in my family room.
You got $2 Heinekens in your family room?
$2 Heinekens. So if you start sticking, and I got furniture in my family room, so you start sticking bikes in there. Okay, it gets really cumbersome. And my son, the last time he did have his bikes, I should say, that's exactly where they were. They were just
in the living room.
And then once you get a flat tire, then they want to take it apart. There's chains and
the latch is especially great for where if anybody has a space, a spatial consideration, and they don't have like an extra garage or rec room to throw stuff in. The latch is awesome. It's great for boaters. It's also just great for people who want to fit it in the back of their. I have a small SUV. I have a Subaru. I can't fit a behemoth bike. And I don't have a bike rack. But the latch would totally fit in there. So
I gotta ask you. Have you ridden all the bikes?
I have not ridden all the bikes. No.
Okay. I was gonna ask what was your personal favorite?
Well, of the bikes I have ridden, the one that you and I both rode, the Interceptor.
Okay.
That one, I really love that one.
Yes.
And you know, and also like I like the fact that you can have a different color, and if you are renting, you can pick it to match your outfit. Because you know, I did have the lavender one. I rocked the lavender one day. The other day we had the fluorescent orange, which is awesome. But no, the Interceptor is great for me because I'm not someone who fidgets with the speeds, and you know, like I know there's all these speeds and like technical bike things. I just want to ride the bike. Like that's
exactly.
I don't need to. I'm not a true biker or bike enthusiast that has like, oh, okay, I have to go on this speed and this place. And obviously, it's flat in Florida.
Yes.
Apart from a couple of places like near the Pedigo Fort Lauderdale store, there is that bridge where the electric comes in handy to go over it. But in general, it's pretty flat here.
Exactly.
So I don't need to think about mountain bike speeds and all that. So the Interceptor is a great piece.
And they're just fun. What are you gonna say? They're just fun.
Hence, hello fun.
Hello fun.
That's their slogan. Hello fun.
So make sure, listen to me, South Florida. Make sure you guys are getting out there, going to Pedigo, Fort Lauderdale. Make sure you go down Las Olas, like I said. Make sure you make some pit stops. But just above all else, just really, really get back out and start enjoying life. Because, you know, like I said, especially with work now, I don't know about anybody else. I haven't really gotten out a lot. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get out. Like you go from work to home, home to the store back home. But the whole time you're doing exactly what I said earlier. You're going from, you know, the house into your car into the store back.
You could take the Pedigo to the store.
Exactly.
Go get your milk in the little basket. Do you remember no, you maybe not because I'm a little older than you, but do you remember from Sesame Street, a loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter?
No.
Okay. So you can get a loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter, you know, and you can attach it to like the basket or, you know, what other attachment you would have for your own Pedigo.
Exactly. And I mean, like you said, I think the main thing here is that I also think that America in general is starting to try to become more health conscious. You know, now people are now going to the Bolets to eat. They feel like that's a more healthier choice. And actually, that's, you know, what's his name? Subway. That's kind of how they built their whole name was off of being a health food place. And, you know, now people are looking out for these things. So seeing how they are trending more toward health, this is just another piece that you can now add.
Well, absolutely. I mean, in general, there's been a huge awakening in America. We have rampant heart disease, diabetes, other sorts of illnesses that a lot can be minimized or reduced through exercise and diet, as we know. So yes, this is a great way, and especially if somebody hasn't been, you know, normally active because of any sort of injury or, you know, surgery or other things, the Pedigo electric bike will really enable them to do some physical activity, but as well go a little further because they do have the electric.
Now, along with just, you know, your typical person, what about the elderly population? How do you feel like that plays for them?
Well, in general, it's interesting because the company was founded by, I believe, baby boomers are the generation they fit in. This was their second act. They were retired already.
Wow.
So I think in general it appeals to seniors because of that reason. It's also a throwback to childhood, the fun colors, the fun expressions, and biking. You know, and for seniors, to me, it's an unbelievable opportunity for somebody to get back on a bike. And again, and they don't have to pedal at all. If they don't want to pedal at all or they cannot pedal at all, they don't have to. But they can still enjoy the sensation of being on a bike and being outside. Because like you said, we all felt like we were little kids again.
Exactly.
So when you're 80, wouldn't you want to feel like a little kid again?
Yes, I just don't want to go down like Freddie. That's all.
Oh. I was wondering how long it would take for you to bring that one up.
I'm
Freddie's
sorry.
spill.
I had to bring up Freddie's spill. But you know what? Freddie's a trooper. He took it like a soldier, and he's actually now this is telling you how much fun he had. He literally wants to do it again.
Oh, I know. He was like, I can't wait to get back on one.
Exactly. And that tells you everything that you need to know about the bike itself. I actually, and I didn't get a chance to ride other versions of the bike. But when I go down there, which I am coming, I definitely want to make sure that I try.
I think we should do it as a group outing. We'll get like the Brooklyn Cafe crew, and we'll go down.
Freddie's been talking about this. Freddie,
yeah,
no more talk. We're gonna make it happen.
He's been talking about doing a Gangs of New York benefiting veterans. You know, so there's different levels of things, but maybe just as a starter, like an appetizer starter course kind of deal, we can go down there. And in fact, actually, if you want a free 1-hour test ride, call the Pedigo Fort Lauderdale store and do mention the Brooklyn Cafe. Tell them Pop sent you.
Tell them Pop sent you. It's just a lot of fun. And the thing that I really love, even more than just the bike, is the fact that you and Austin are both so knowledgeable when it comes to the actual bikes themselves. And, you know, the fact that you guys are able to sit there and the questions that we did have, even off air, you guys were very, you know, just explaining how the bike works. So, I mean, it's one thing to tell you how much fun it is, but you're not going to know by us sitting here telling you how much fun it is. You're only going to know by actually getting up, going down to the store, going to see Jenny. Sorry.
That's all right.
That's Freddie's fault. Going to see Jenny or Austin and actually getting on the bike.
Well, unlike Austin, I'm not there all the time. So they will definitely always find Austin. But with me, you know, I'm happy to answer any questions that they may have as well. But Austin is certainly the go-to source for that. He's the go-to guy.
But y'all guys are awesome. The bikes are awesome. Now, I know also that Pedigo is #1, right? The #1.
It is the #1 electric bike worldwide. Ranked #1, yeah.
Wow. Think about that. The #1. And here's the best part about it is if you are considering perhaps buying one of these bikes, the price point, as we touched on the other day, is very competitive with bikes. So it isn't even out of the range of being able to, you know, to afford. It's realistic to be able to get one of these bikes. And it really made me wonder why I stopped riding bikes in the first place. Because when you're a kid, you know, well, not kids nowadays, but when I was a kid, you know, riding a bike was #1, the quickest form of transportation you had,
Yes.
you know. So if you needed to go and it isn't like nowadays where your mom is like, hey, here, take my credit card or whatever, you know, drive my car. My mother was not letting me drive her car. You better go grab your bike. You want to go to see your friend across town? You better grab your bike and go pedal, and you better be back in this house by 10 o'clock. So, you know, I haven't ridden a bike in so long, and then I was just like, I pull up, and here I see Freddie and Dawn and Steve and everybody in the parking lot just, you know, busting donuts, you know, going around in circles, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then, you know, Austin like, hey, man, jump on this one. I'm going to set it up for you. Put it on 4 or 5. And I get on it and I do a little bit of pedaling and I'm like, okay, this is great.
Well, that's the other thing. If you do go to the store to either rent or purchase a bike, Austin will show you in the back of the store, there's like a parking lot, and he will go over the instructions with you very methodically and carefully and have you like just do a couple of test little rides around the parking lot, kind of like what we did before having you go off onto Las Olas or whatever. He wants to make sure, and they will make sure that everybody is comfortable, you know, and understands the lay of the land with it. Further, in general, if someone wanted to preemptively learn about it, you can Google, you know, Pedigo electric bikes. There are a ton of videos that demonstrate the bikes. So the corporation puts out a lot of great and helpful material. So if anyone wants to learn about it and learn more statistics and information on how they're built and those types of things, it's all available online.
And the other thing that you guys I really like people out there to understand is that you can also have, like you said, the bikes delivered to you.
Yes.
So that's that's very important to me, because let's say, for instance, you do want to have the bike, but you're just saying to yourself, I really don't have time to get down there. They'll bring them to you. Now, where's your excuse?
Well, that's what I mean, but that's why we're trying to raise awareness about that fact, because it's not even going to cross someone's mind to look into that type of excursion if they're limited by transportation and they didn't rent a car. So this sort of eliminates that barrier. So, you think of it as like an Uber Eats kind of situation where the food's coming to you. Well, here, the bikes are coming to you. So
Exactly.
then you can really plan a wonderful outing. And again, because of the electric, which is an equalizer, you can include people at various fitness levels on the outing.
And about how many bikes are you able to deliver at a time?
About 3 at a time, but they will but they can figure out the logistics and things. So if it needs to be additional bikes, they can make multiple trips, and they have as you saw, they have the Pedigo van.
Got
right?
you.
So you can roll up in the Pedigo van and.
Now, let me ask you, would they be able to, let's say, for instance, a person wanted to rent it for 2-3 days. Are they able to rent it and keep it overnight? Or
Yes, there are different structures. And again, Austin has all those details, but
Okay.
you can do it by the hour, which they have a 2-hour minimum. You can do it by the day. You can do it overnight. If you need it more than one night, you have to make specific arrangements, but they in general are looking to accommodate their customers. And, if someone needs it for a few days, I'm sure they will work something out.
Oh, see, that even more convenience.
Yeah. But obviously, you have to take precautions. You have to use the lock they give you. Even though Florida doesn't have helmet laws, of course, we always recommend you wear a helmet. Freddie wasn't wearing a helmet, but it didn't really matter in that instance because I'm sure he would not have been like rocking elbow pads. So, joking aside, safety's a big thing. It's one of the things when I see people that don't ride with a helmet, motorcycles, bikes, everything, I'm always like, concerned. So in general, safety is really important to Pedigo, and they want everyone to enjoy biking safely.
Exactly. Now, maybe you can give a little bit of history on the actual company. How long have they been around and where are they from?
They are from California. I don't have all the history at my fingertips right now. But like I said, if you Google Pedigo electric bikes, or you go to PedigoElectricBikes.com, you can find out all of that historical information.
So what is it about Pedigo that you particularly like? Like even a business aside, what is it you like about Pedigo?
I like that it equalizes the experience and enables everybody to participate at various fitness levels. Because I've had friends who want me to do marathons or these I'm not Iron Man, but whatever the female equivalent is. And that's not happening, okay? I did my first 5K last year with Eat Better, Live Better with Deborah Tendrick, and I'm going to do it again this year. And I ran, I think, the first mile of it because I didn't do any preliminary training. But the point is, if someone asks you to do one of those things, unless you're training and active, you can't participate.
Exactly.
Or you can, but they're going to be waiting for you for 4 hours at the end
Exactly.
while you're going through. What I love about Pedigo, like I said, is that everybody who wants to be out and enjoy biking and the sensation of biking can do so. But anyway, I'm so glad you got to experience it. And
I'm glad I got
we're
to
gonna
experience
we're gonna
it.
do that. We're gonna do the Brooklyn Cafe crew visit Pedigo.
Make it happen, Freddie.
Pedigo, Fort Lauderdale.
Ready, set, ride. Remember when you were a kid and riding a bike was pure fun? It's time to rediscover that carefree feeling again with a Pedigo electric bike. Pedigo is the #1 brand of electric bikes in America because with Pedigo, we put you and the customer service first. Pedigo electric bikes are universally fun for all ages. Choose to pedal for exercise or throttle for full assist. Give Pedigo Fort Lauderdale a call or stop in for a free bike ride. 954-652-1823. Come as you are and try a Pedigo today, where our motto is Hello Fun. 954-652-1823. Tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you. Add that extra wow factor to your home or office wastebaskets with designer liners. Designer liners will turn an everyday home item into the pinnacle of decor at an affordable price. Available in a variety of prints from polka dots, zigzags to paisley. Dare to dream bigger with custom designer liners for your charity fundraiser or a company logo. Reusable as basket decor liners or gift bags and made in the USA. Designer liners will enhance any home or office. Get yours today at designerliners.com or wastebaskets.com. That's designerliners with an S.com.
Want to make your smartphone brilliant? One tap creates a virtual wine fine tuner. Another, a coffee refiner. A beauty cream and makeup enhancer.
Wow. Look at your eye.
What a difference.
And with still just a tap, a strength and flexibility harmonizer.
Yeah, I definitely felt something different.
This is the Vitalizer. In the App Store on any smartphone, a simple download that will embed specific frequencies and vibrations into your phone's light photons and sound waves. Calibrations designed to affect taste.
The Vitalizer one is better than the other one, for sure.
Hydration, absorption,
feel silkier,
and perhaps most incredibly, your strength, flexibility, and energy. Amazing.
Wow. Crazy.
Well, salud. I'm loving it.
Go to www.vitalizerapp.com and make your smartphone brilliant.
In a perfectly imperfect world, you can eat the foods you love, lose weight, and be healthy. But what if I told you you can do just that? In fact, your diet should be perfectly imperfect by eating the foods you love and still achieving your health and wellness goals. I take the guesswork out of nutrition by giving you my simple and effective strategies so that you can live the healthy and happy life you will love using real food to get real results. Schedule your nutrition consultation today at 888-84-TAMMY or visit my website, TammyFogarty.com. Don't delay, get healthy today. 888-84-TAMMY.
The Heart of Delray Gallery, located in the Delray Art Complex, is one of South Florida's top venues for art, culture, music, and private events. The Heart of Delray Gallery is a cutting-edge, 11,000-square-foot art exhibition showcasing local artists and artisans with the highest quality of talent and vision, highlighting South Florida's creative arts. Visit us at the Heart of Delray Gallery, 1440 North Federal Highway in Delray Beach. Come, take a tour, book your next private event or fundraiser, or join us for Art Walk the first Friday of every month from 6 to 11 p.m. For more information, give us a call at 561-278-0074. You are listening to Tell Us Your Business, where our invited guests share all the knowledge of their business and how important it is what they do in our community. If you want to be part of the conversation, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and tell us what's on your mind. Now, back to Tell Us Your Business.
Welcome back to Tell Us Your Biz. This is Rashad Butler, and I'm sitting here with...
Not Jeannie, but Jenny Azulai. And as I was talking to you, Pops, about during the break, so I'm an entrepreneur. Pedigo is one of my clients. My business is Moxie B2B, as in business to business. So we do anything on the creative landscape, ranging from branding, logo design, website design, social media, event planning, and swag. And everything in between. Truthfully, we basically, the best way to describe it, because we cast such a wide net, is we analyze and provide creative solutions to our customers so we can increase their branding awareness and raise their bottom line and raise their profits.
Oh, sounds like a lot of people can use your your services. Seriously. That definitely sounds like a lot of stuff going on. So how did you actually get into that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I've had a very nonlinear career path. So I started as a fine artist. I was a fine arts major in college. I went to Michigan, by the way. And then I'm someone who, I'm a Renaissance woman. I like all different things. I'm going to try to make this story like as short as possible, but still give you the details. So anyway, I always enjoyed debate and politics and international relations and other things. So I segued to political science. I ended up going to law school. I went to University of Illinois. I became a lawyer licensed in New York City. And then I decided I wanted to, rather than be a lawyer, I'd rather play a lawyer on TV. So then I pursued acting. And I had to do various jobs, although I managed to avoid waitressing for some reason. But most actors have to waitress at some point or other. But I did a lot of temporary legal work and other things. And I had to do a whole array of other jobs to pay for my acting because none of the acting gigs were paid. And this was back in the day. This is pre-digital. This is, you're mailing out, headshots, black and white headshots and all this stuff. So anyway, I realized at some point I needed something that satisfied the creative side of me as well as the analytical side. So really, marketing's a hybrid because it is artistic. You need a sensibility and you need to have an understanding of how things look and how colors come together and space and just in general impressions and visions and imagery. But at the same time, it has to be analytical because with marketing, unlike art, which is a form of self-expression, marketing, you need to know the ROI. Am I getting a return on this ad, on this website, on this initiative? So I've been doing marketing this whole millennium, as I like to say, and I love it.
Well, it sounds like me and you kind of had like a very similar path. By trade, I'm actually an insurance broker. Been doing that for about the last 12, 13 years. I've managed a number of call rooms and done a ton of business. And at some point, I kind of rolled over and said, you know what? I'm kind of tired of it. And ended up meeting Freddie and have been working with him.
Wait. The day you met Freddie, I was there, if you recall.
Yes.
I think it was Valentine's Day.
The very first day I met Freddie, you were there.
So that's okay. So that was it. So you're like, I'm all about getting into radio now, production.
Kind of, sort of, because I still do insurance. I do group benefits.
Okay.
But eventually, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Eventually, at some point.
Also, because I asked you earlier, one of your tats, you have a record label?
Yes, I do have a record label.
So, okay. So entrepreneurship is not new to you.
No, it's definitely not. The record label is kind of a funny story. I've been doing music for over 20 years. And
you're not old enough, Pops. Come on.
Yeah, I am. I've been doing music pretty much my whole life. And in various stages of my life, I've toured and I've done albums and I've done all that stuff. And then at some point when you got a wife, you got kids, and you're not making money from it, you're just kind of living the lifestyle, but you're not really actually getting paid for it.
So what, you were like a baller, but not getting paid for it?
Well, no, what happened back in those days is with the record companies, the way they used to work back in those days is they would have no problem putting you out there. And their whole thing was, you know what, we're going to take care of everything, but except for the money. And then you pretty much you were a slave to the record company because all they would do is say, oh, well, we paid for this and we paid for that and we paid for this and your numbers or your sales.
So they would pay to produce the album and such? Is that what you mean?
Well, they would pay for venues, like, for you to go on the road, go and do shows and things like that.
Okay.
And then, when it's time to get paid, they're like, well, we're writing off that because you ate, chicken, you ate, this, and you wore clothes and you did this.
So kind of like the hospital when they like itemize tissues and they phrase it funny.
Exactly. So, I hit a crossroad. I had to make a decision on whether or not I wanted to continue, and obviously, I was like, 25 years old. I was
okay,
like,
so last year, yeah, go ahead.
I was like, you know what? It's time to make that. I hit that crossroad, and I had to take care of my family first.
Okay.
So fast forward, my son about 3 years ago, and I'm not a person that ever forces my children to do what I do. I don't force them to enjoy my passions or tell them what they're going to do with their lives. Only thing I demanded of my children is you are going to get your education, but I don't necessarily point them in a direction of saying this is what you need to do. Your uncle or I was at this and you need to do that. But my son came up to me and said, Pops, and where the name comes from, he goes, Pops, I did something on YouTube, and he goes, I'm starting to get some reactions from it. So I was like, okay, let me see what you got. And I go on YouTube and I watch his video and I see the reaction, you see the comments and stuff, and I'm like, okay, but I'm a critic. And even for my son, I'm even harder of a critic, and not necessarily because I'm judgmental, but I'm a critic because I want him to have that work ethic, because I need him to understand that when you get out there, number one, studio time is very expensive. So you need to be a professional when you go in a studio. Some of these studios are $150 an hour or more.
Sure.
When you're getting top flight engineers, and you can't be going in there with an idea. You have to go in there prepared. So when he came to me and was like, yeah, I'm doing this, that. My next question was, okay, that's nice. What else you got? So then I come to find out my son had been writing music for a while under my nose. He had like 6 or 7 songs.
Oh my God.
Completely prepared, which completely floored me. And from there, started slowly making investments into a studio, and then had to legalize everything and end up, getting the legal record label. My record label all situated there. And
what's
then,
the record label? Don't be shy, Pops.
Okay. So the name of my record label is Tribal Hippie Click. Okay. Now, where that name comes from is my son and his friends always called themselves Tribe. Okay. They say we're not a gang, we're just like a family, we're a tribe. They live like hippies. They really do. And they didn't want any gang or anything like that. It was a clique, like a family. So that's where it all plays together, Tribal Hippie Click. And so Tribal Hippie Click Records, I put all of that together, and then I ended up signing like 6 artists.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I currently do have 6 artists under tow, but the toughest thing about owning a record label, and me and Freddie have had this conversation, but the toughest thing about owning a record label is how do you keep somebody motivated to do something until there's like serious money coming in? And it's funny because a lot of the artists that are actually the younger artists now that are actually starting to really become big artists, like there's a kid named XXX who we met like 2.5 years ago, who now has like the #1 song. His song actually just went past Drake's song, God's Plan.
What song?
It's called Sad. So his name is XXX Tentacion. He just went past Drake for #1. And there was another kid that we worked with some time ago who got signed by the rapper Fetty Wap. So I've worked with a number of kids, but it's just such a tough business.
Well, we have a lot to talk about offline because I am like a total old school hip hop gal. And and my son he came out like me in that respect. He loves hip hop, and actually he's a dancer. But same thing, I know what you're talking about though, about the lesson about, look, when I went through acting, part of at some point in time, I worked for an acting studio, and you have kids that came in there thinking, yo, I want to be an actor. And it's like, okay, you got to get training.
Exactly.
Even if you have a God-given talent, okay? Some people do. You still have to cultivate the talent.
Exactly.
I mean, we've all seen The Voice and American Idol. We didn't have those opportunities when I was going through that. Not that I would have been a contestant on those shows. I'm not that level of a singer, but it's just very interesting. I think in part the whole reality TV has changed the mindset. Younger kids don't understand that becoming famous is not a goal in and of itself, or it shouldn't be, because you could become famous for the wrong reasons and without being talented. I would much prefer, and I'm sure you would as well, your artists and your own children to be celebrated in fame by their talent.
Exactly.
And by their work. And by their, amazing dedication. And it's interesting because the culture is so superficial, and we do have such an instant gratification. And it's not just even with the arts, it's with any form of business and entrepreneurship. You have to build the business up. And what are you going to do during those downtimes? Just give up?
Exactly.
You have to know, do you have what it takes to be committed?
That's the biggest question, is the commitment. Are you willing to fight through and beyond? And that's the point I was trying to make. How long will you stay with that when you're not making money? That's the difference between, in my mind, an artist and somebody who wants to do and somebody wants to do music. I'll tell you right now, you want to see a real musician, okay? Go down to Guitar Center. Guitar Center has real musicians. You'll have a guy that his hair will be bald like mine, except for he'll still keep the ponytail in the back,
like a backwards soul patch.
Exactly,
or something?
and his name will be like Slick, So and he still plays gigs, But that's a real musician. That's a guy who it's about more than just money. It's about the end goal. So I completely understand, the suffering of getting into that type of industry.
And I'm not saying it's easy. Look, I can't tell you how many auditions I went on back in the day. Okay. And it's not even just about, but it's not just about one passion. Sometimes we have multiple passions, but it's about understanding who you are, for one. You also have to sometimes reinvent yourself. Sometimes you discover along the way, you know what? I'm not the best singer, dancer, or fill in the blank out there, but I am really good at this and I love this. Exactly. And I could see myself being happy and fulfilled doing this. And I think that to me, that grit is at the core of an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether it's art, it doesn't matter whether it's business, it could be anything, but you have to be willing to put in that blood, sweat, and tears, and you have to have faith, and you have to have confidence, and sometimes that's difficult amid, red bank statements. So
exactly,
it's a huge challenge, and I think that us as entrepreneurs have to have a lot of fortitude and wherewithal to stay the course.
But sometimes you can actually stumble your way into your calling.
Yes.
And for me, recently, besides being, obviously on the radio, working with the Brooklyn Cafe, AMP2 Television, which I absolutely love you guys. Shout out Dawn, shout out Freddie. I love you guys. I appreciate the opportunity you've given me. But along with that, I've also recently been able to use my studio to help other businesses because I do radio commercials and jingles. I actually did one for the Connected Warriors.
Oh, wow.
There's a lady by the name of Barbara Swanson that I just did her radio commercial as well. And so now I'm starting to get my niche in regards to, being able to give people radio commercials. So if you are looking for a radio commercial, you can always contact me. You can call me directly. My number is 561-351-3410, Rashad, or you can call me Pops. Just say, hey, Pops, I need a commercial, and I'll take care of you.
That's actually very good for me to know, because that is conceivable that we would need that for some of our clients as well.
I really appreciate it.
So I'm glad you mentioned that.
I keep myself busy. But yeah, it's very admirable that you are able to, especially the person that had the background of being an attorney, you have that background and you still are able to go ahead and live your passion. That's actually very, very inspirational, actually, because lately I've been doing a lot of reading of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and a lot of The Secret and a lot of Law of Attractions. And that's the one thing that people really miss out overall in life. They get so caught up with, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, that when they look back on their life, they really didn't enjoy what they did. They literally did what they had to do. And people like ourselves, up to a point, we did what we had to do, but now we're starting to do what we enjoy doing.
Well, and also realizing that you know deep inside that it's going to work. It's not necessarily manifesting to everybody and those in the world because, not everybody knows who Moxie B2B is or Jenny Azulay is. But that doesn't mean that success isn't right around the corner or that and it's not overnight. The thing is, that's what people don't realize is that even when someone seemingly has overnight success, they've been working, they have been grinding to get where they are.
Exactly.
And the stars align and, talking about The Secret and putting things out there and belief and faith. And I read a lot of these materials too. I read a variety and collection of materials and I apply to my life what resonates with me. But I do think you're right. It's very difficult. Our society and the challenges we face are very difficult. So
I also think that, like you touched on earlier, we are very instant gratification society now. Literally, people are honking their horns a half second after the light turns green.
Yes.
They're just like, go, go.
Or what about just before? I was sending a text and my phone froze and I'm getting annoyed, right? And I'm I grew up, there was a rotary phone, right?
Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, you remember. Wait, do you remember making emergency breakthroughs? Or that was past your time?
Yes, I remember those.
Okay, but it's true. And I sometimes, when I catch myself, I have to just try to chill. Try to turn on a song, and try to enjoy myself because I can't control the traffic, obviously, right?
Yes.
It would be wonderful if I could, but no. It is interesting because we all in general have become a lot more impatient. And we have, okay, I need this now, I need this now. And yes, granted, there is a certain healthy pace to things and there are things that should go a certain way, but that doesn't mean it always will go that way.
Exactly.
So
exactly, and people get frustrated really quick. And to be an entrepreneur, the first thing, and I've been talking about this a lot on my, I've been putting this out on social media a lot. Failure. People cannot be afraid to fail, and that's the main thing that keeps people. If you ask somebody what is their dream, okay, a person has no problem normally telling you what they're. Oh, I like to do painting. I like to do this, and then you'll say, well, why don't you sell your paint? Oh, well, I got a job. They're going to have a million excuses.
Yes.
But the root of all of their excuses is, I'm afraid to fail. I don't want people laughing at me. I don't think my art's good enough. I don't think I'm good enough. So until you're not afraid to fail forward, because you are going to fail.
absolutely.
You know, you're going to fail. That's going to happen.
Even if you do the right thing, you're going to fail
Exactly.
at some point in time. I mean, we're not infallible. We all make mistakes.
Exactly.
And so
exactly, but you can fail forward still.
No, and at the same time, I also, years ago, when I was making the transition from law to acting at the time, I had read the book The Artist's Way. Are you familiar with it?
No, I haven't.
So
read that one.
it's another along these whole lines of trying to rediscover. It's a course of introspection, and for me, it worked. But the thing is, what you realize along the way too is that you cannot share your dream with every single person in your life.
True.
Because you will have, especially when you're vulnerable, if you have negative naysayers and negative energy, that will be enough to quash down your drive. Because as it is, if you're already insecure that you're not a great artist, you're not a great singer, fill in the blank, and then someone tells you you're never going to make it. These are the statistics. It's never going to happen.
Exactly.
Snowball in hell.
Actually, I got a really quick story on that one. My cousin, you can look him up. His name is Alan All-Star Gordon. Okay, he's produced everything from SWV's first album to Luther Vandross to Michael Jackson. He did Joe's first album. He's worked with all the heavy hitters. He's a multi-platinum winning, and this is my first cousin, multi-platinum producing producer.
Okay.
And he's worked with everybody. And I'll never forget the day that my cousin was working for an auto parts store. He was going to school and he was living with my grandmother. And he told my grandmother, who was raising him, he called her mom. He said, Mama, I'm going to New York and I'm going to try music. And my grandmother looked at him, God rest her soul, and she said, Alan, you need to stay here and be realistic. That's not going to happen. You're going to leave everything. You're not going to make it. And you're going to be right back here. Well, fast forward, okay? My cousin went to New York. He slept on Heavy D's floor. That's how he got it. And then Heavy D introduced him to Teddy Riley, who for the first year, he spent just getting him coffee, picking up laundry. But the whole time he was doing that, he was also learning from at the time, one of the best producers in the music industry. So he said he would sit back, just watch him work the board and just learn, take the free education. And then within about 2 years after that, he had produced SWV's first album. And I'll never forget the day that my cousin actually got his first $1 million check. And it was back in 1991. He got $1 million. And I remember him calling the record label thinking that they made a mistake. He didn't cash it for 3 days because he was scared. He thought they made a mistake and gave him too much money. And when he found out that check was correct, they're like, no, that's your money. Things changed a little bit for him.
And wait, was he able to tell your grandma? Was your grandma ever able to experience his success?
Yes, she experienced his success along with everybody else that, at the time didn't believe what he believed. And the point of that story is sometimes you just gotta believe in yourself enough. You gotta gamble on yourself.
But it's fast. But at the same time, you also have to acknowledge those who did help along the way. Heavy D for lending his floor. That's the other thing that people often don't want to acknowledge. We all need help.
Yes.
And that help comes in various forms of people, individuals. Sometimes it's from family, sometimes it's from chosen family, like I call my friends. And I am so grateful for all the people who have assisted me in my journey, because we all need it. We all need our support.
But you also have to be willing to be humble as well.
Yes.
You have to be willing to take that. Sometimes people will think you're crazy for taking a step back. Well, not taking a step back, but taking a leap of faith, I should say. Because for him to be willing to go up there and not know where he's going to stay and, or not have any guarantees whatsoever, and to be able to come out on top, sometimes, like I said, you just have to gamble on yourself.
So absolutely. So before we wrap up, I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I feel like we really got to know each other on a deeper level here, and just sharing our entrepreneur war stories and inspiration. And I think it's so important we all get to share inspiration, because that's what also helps fuel others out there to pursue their passion and their dream and their belief in themselves. And so you gave your information. I'd like to give mine. To reach me, you can always reach me on my cell, 732-567-0683, Jersey girl in Florida. And my website is Moxie, MOXIE, B like boy, the numeral 2, the letter B.com. And Pops?
It has been fun. Like I said, you can always contact me, Pops. My number is 561-351-3410. You need a jingle, you need to record something, or if you just need something edited, cleaned, audio-wise, you can always send me a file. I have tons and tons and tons of software, so I can take care of you. All right?
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Have a
everybody.
wonderful weekend.
Thank you for joining us.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an AMP2